Of utmost importance, it requires that we embrace the discomfort of hunger. We must recognize that occasionally going without food up to 24 hours is a normal and even beneficial state. And we must also understand and adapt to the fact that much of our hunger isn't real physiological hunger. Rather, it's often a cheap coping mechanism to comfort us against the discomforts of modern life. That's from the book, The Comfort Crisis. It's by Michael Easter. Great book just about searching for discomfort. And you can imagine what it is. It's like rucking, being outdoors, getting away from all of the things that this digital life has created. The idea was I was going to do one bag of broccoli every day. I learned two things pretty quickly. One is that just 1 pound of broccoli is kind of a lot to eat in one sitting, so I can try to break it up. Number two, it's not exactly stopping me from snacking, which is in a way the thing that probably is adding up the most as far as trying to lose weight. I also don't really have like a reliable place where I'm tracking this. If I go through the other habits, I am tracking those. Like my steps are automatically tracked. Writing is kind of tracked in Obsidian. I can see the word count. Reading is sort of tracked in like a Kindle app. Weightlifting in like a spreadsheet, StrongAmp. But this habit, I'm not exactly tracking. So I need to find a place to track these habits. I'm going to continue on trying to do broccoli every day. Maybe not 1 pound of broccoli every day. So I'm going to try to make it a little bit smaller of a habit to just make sure to get some in. All right, now to this reading habit. For many of us, reading a book is the deepest form of focus we experience. You dedicate many hours of your life coolly, calmly, to one topic and allow it to marinate in your mind. This is the medium through which most of the deepest advances in human thought over the past 400 years have been figured out and explained. And that experience is now in free fall. So this is from the book Stolen Focus by Johann Hari. That is one of the reasons that I wanted to pick this as one of the daily habits, is just my ability to focus seems to have gone away. Reading 10 pages daily has opened my eyes to this fact that I rarely sit down and read for 30 minutes or like a full hour anymore. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I tried 75 Hard, and it has like, work out twice a day, follow a diet. One of the parts of it is reading 10 pages daily. And I remember at the time I was thinking like, that's going to be the easiest thing because I'm already reading 10 pages daily. At some point in the past few years, that's become no longer true. I just sort of stopped reading. Okay. Number 3. So the habit is 100 reps lifting. Here's the quote. I've found that generally speaking, home gyms can have a negative effect on concentrated trading. Your kitchen and living room are too close. You find yourself thinking, should I do another set or should I watch television? There are too many temptations. But if you make the commitment of traveling to the gym for half an hour, you will most likely decide that you're going to put in some work, so you won't have gone there for nothing. That's from the book Arnold, Education of a Bodybuilder. I do like these books where it's biographies from the current time, like older biographies from a current time to like capture a person's life in that perspective without knowing how everything else is going to pan out. So I think Education of a Bodybuilder was written, maybe he had done a movie already, but he was not the biggest movie star in the world. And he definitely wasn't covered at the time.
I'm doing StrongLifts 5x5 Plus. This is a modification where it's more focused on upper body. You don't squat 3 days a week. You don't squat with every workout. It's squats on one day, deadlifts on one day.
For me, the benefits of the home gym outweigh the cons. I don't have as much time to travel right now. It's just trying to find like carving out the, 1 hour workout 3 times a week. That is the challenging part. I did my 3 workouts this week and I'm tracking that in a couple ways. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but so one of them is the Strong app. I have like 600 plus workouts tracked in there from the past like decade. So I like the idea of keeping things going in there. I've also started to use a spreadsheet when I started doing the 5x5 Plus plan. It's not something that I've done like in past years. So this is to track things week over week, plan ahead. It's just nice to have like the desktop view, that spreadsheet view of everything. I can see like what lifts I've been missing and glance at how weights are progressing. Then it's always satisfying to like highlight the cells and turn them green when I'm done with the workout. The next one is 1,000 words. So this is writing. I don't have a quote here actually, but I mentioned that I've started to dive into Obsidian a little bit more. A couple of years ago, I was pretty into Rome research, and I've tried probably like every note-taking app that comes to mind. I'm using Obsidian right now. It seems like it'll do everything I want it to do, but so did all the other ones. So there'll probably be a time where I decide, oh no, I need to like simplify things again. Anyway, here's a quick walkthrough of my Obsidian setup. I have 3 vertical panels. So one, I'll click there and then open up random notes. Sometimes it's an individual book to get the highlights from that book, or my weekly note. And then in the middle, this is like the main place that I'm writing. I'll have the outline for this video, which hopefully I'll like put into a newsletter. On the right, I have that. We'll see. This is kind of gimmicky, but I have that split into 5 panels. So that has, 5 notes. And I have 1 note for each of these. You can imagine, I guess. On the top is like quotes about habits, and then quotes about reading, quotes about writing, lifting, and walking. I like this. It seemed to work for at least like this script, but then again, it's only been like 2 weeks of doing this. It's optimized for this goal. Grab 5 quotes and then fill out this outline. For a sense of how long this took, I was on the treadmill, and the outline's about 1,200 words. I think it's a little too long. Like this video is going to be a little longer than I would like. And then it took about an hour to write. And that's my like current writing setup. And it's a thing I do first thing in the morning. Hop on the treadmill and then start writing in Obsidian. Last section here, another quote from Arnold. So for 10,000, which is 10,000 steps for walking, he says, sometimes you're forced to jog indoors where you just stay in one place and imitate running to get your heart going. You should only do this when you're traveling or on winter days when it's impossible for you to go outside. I have been walking a lot on the treadmill, but I do get some of the steps outdoors. So I have Brewster for my dog, and we go on a walk every day, and that ends up being 30 minutes to an hour. The walking is supposed to be this reminder to go outside. I put this note about like this Mark Manson podcast episode. I put this here just because the walking is supposed to be about like long-term, thinking about the long-term, how all of these things add up over the course of years. So yeah, the theme here is about like doing something and then deciding if you want to keep doing it. He explains that he's ending the current format for his podcast. And for the past couple of years, he's had an interview show. He realized that it fell into a very dangerous zone, which is, number 1, it's working really well. But number 2, he doesn't like doing it. That whole thing of it's working and do you like doing it? It's easy to quit something that isn't working and you don't like it. The combination of it's working and also you like doing it, congratulations, like you've won. So it's easy to keep going. It's when you only have one of those things that it gets kind of tricky. So the gap would be if you like doing it, but it isn't working, you might want to keep going until it works. And then the Mark Manson podcast part is it's working, but you don't like doing it. So people were telling him he's crazy. He's getting like millions of downloads. It's financially like working. He's able to meet people. And that's why he kind of didn't want to do it, because he felt like he was compromising his own values. There were just times where he would have a guest on and he didn't exactly agree with what they were saying, but he also didn't want to like challenge them and then say like, hey, now it's a debate. So what does that have to do with this like 1 pursuit that I'm doing? I would say right now, like I'm in that zone, not necessarily the sort of thing. I'm in like that dip of I like doing it, but it isn't working. But I'm going to stick with it until it works is the hope here. I'm pretty slow in making the videos, but I think I can improve that. I'm just sort of having faith in this Ali Abdaal idea where he says, if you make one video weekly for 2 years, it'll change your life. So thanks for checking this out.